tuning in for tech. There we go, recording in progress. So thank you everybody for tuning in for tonight. I'm really excited because I think this is a really nice build off of last week's presentation and discussion with Kristen Polans. Sarah Malin is with us, and she'll have a chance to go ahead and introduce herself. But Sarah does work up at Fort Lewis College, and she and I work together as colleagues, serving on various committees and so forth. But maybe if we could just go ahead and quickly, if people have an opportunity to introduce themselves. So Sarah, is that good? So you have a sense of who's here and everything?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and maybe introduce, but also what is something that, you know, when you think of assistive technologies, is there something you're hoping to take away from tonight? So if I could just go around the screen, and, you know, if you've already got something going on, you can't respond, that's fine. But Todd, can I go ahead and start with you? Your camera just popped up. Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Todd Seeger. My daughter is a sophomore at Durango High School. So we're kind of just getting an early start on some of this. She's our oldest. So we're kind of new into this foray of exploring colleges and all those other things. But mostly I'm here because my wife couldn't be, and I've told her that I would be. So like I said earlier, I've got to take good notes, I guess, but I'm glad that it's being recorded.
Cool. Thanks, Todd. Lorianne, how about you?
Lorianne Glass. I have a senior at DHS who's through most of the process around college. We're down to some final visits and her selection process. And I actually don't know what this talk is about, but I'm just trying to suck up any information I possibly can around the going to college process, because we have another one. And this process with my oldest was just daunting. I had no idea that this was the process today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, thanks, Lorianne. Absolutely. And so glad we can do these and you find them helpful. So Mary?
Yes, hi. I have a junior at DHS, and she will definitely need assistance. And any assistant technology, she will definitely need. I am only familiar with like books on tape, which have come a long way from my dyslexia days. But so I'm interested in hearing more. Assistant, thanks.
Great, thanks, Mary. Amy?
Hi, I'm Amy Cook. My son is a junior at DHS. And he has dyslexia, but is really good with technology. So I'm hoping to learn more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amy, tonight when we're done, we'll just hang on and chat. Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. And then Colin, thanks for joining us. We're just doing quick introductions, what brought you here, and for tonight's discussion.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Colin. Mark reached out to me. I'm a transition kind of mentor coach in town here in Durango. Currently in graduate school for mental health counseling and somatic counseling, and yeah, just kind of dropping in to get to know Mark and what the work that he's doing and in the realm of assistive technology. I mean, gosh, you know, since the time I've been in school has come so far still, but you know, just having things like, you know, Grammarly, for example, is a wonderful tool for me currently in grad school, you know, being able to check a lot of my errors and things like that. And audiobooks are helpful. And also I remember back in undergrad using a lot of like talk to text sort of devices when typing was a little bit more challenging for me. And that was also helpful. But I think that, you know, technology is becoming kind of the forefront of, you know, modern development. And I think the more we can familiarize ourselves with it, just the more easy, you know, it can be for students to kind of adapt to their career, because it's becoming, you know, so integrated into everything that we do. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Colin. And it's good to see you actually. I was going to say in person, but at least on a screen in the 2D version. So I think we got everybody. So thanks for tuning in. Again, Sarah, do you want me to go ahead and start the presentation now? Get the
That'd be
slides on?
great.
Okay,
That would
so
be
I'm gonna
great.
go ahead and do that. And let's see here.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear
Okay, good.
you. Everybody's good. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we probably should
So I
start at
think
the
you're at the end
beginning.
there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should start at the beginning.
That's
There we
okay,
go.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay, great. So thanks, Mark, and welcome everyone. I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about assistive technology for college students. And yeah, Mark, you can go to the next one.
Okay.
So I'm Sarah Malin, and I work at the college at Fort Lewis. This is my 6th year working up there, and I work in the disability office, which we just got our office renamed to the Accessibility Resource Center. And I do basically all things technology for students. So I show them all kinds of assistive technologies. I help train them on how to use them. And I'm always looking at what is new and upcoming in the field. You can go to the next one. Okay, so for those of you who don't know assistive technology, it can be low tech to high tech. It's any type of device, software, or system that increases, maintains, or improves a person's functional capabilities. So obviously it can assist people with various abilities and disabilities who might have difficulty speaking, typing, writing, maybe with memory, mobility, seeing, hearing, or learning. And assistive technology can also help dual language learners or, students who have English as their second language. So I think that is really cool. And it provides equal access to persons with disabilities and basically everyone.
Right.
So yeah, what I tell students to do when they're first going to school is to check with their school to see what technology they have. Lots of different colleges have access to free software. At Fort Lewis, we have access to Microsoft products. So while your student is in college, they can download those for free. And usually you can have access to those after you graduate too. So it saves students a lot of money. There's departments like my department, the disability office, that can get students technology. I can buy software and apps for students. Bigger schools usually have bigger budgets for stuff like that. We have a few softwares that we pay for as a college. And so we give, excuse me, unlimited licenses to all the students who come to Fort Lewis, for example. So I would tell your students to use the IT department, tell them to download the software and get help and support around training if they need it. Fort Lewis has a tech team that's part of the tutoring office. And so they have students who can help other students. And then you can go to IT, you can come to my office, you can do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's the most important thing, I think, is to explore what you have and start practicing what you're going to be using. So you can go to the next one.
Sarah, this is Mark. I have a question regarding that.
Yeah.
Does the idea of a student, who might need some technology, do they go to the IT department first, or would they go to a department similar to your office, like disability or accessibility services, and need to register for accommodations before they make any sort of a tech request?
Great question, Mark. So I would say if your student has had supports in the past or they have some sort of diagnosis, then they would register with our office first, and we would kind of overview and say and show them all the things we have to offer before they would go to IT. And then I could help them kind of navigate that if they went over to IT and we also wanted to download some other things onto their computer, like Microsoft Office. But I have, like, the disability office at Fort Lewis, we have a lot of things that students can check out just through our office. And I'll talk about those more tonight, but I have things like smart pens and iPads and things like that that students can use for the whole semester. IT has that too. And I think most schools, you know, have packages and bundles around that. But I would say if they're a student with a disability, in order for them to, you know, get everything for free and have equal access, they would come to our office first.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll navigate that or just unmute and ask like I'm doing. I'm not afraid to do that. So here we go.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Okay, so note taking is really big in college. I think it becomes, you know, a little more complicated for college students because they have more classes. They are also carrying around their textbooks or have their textbooks sometimes on their tablets or their computers or devices. You know, they're taking notes sometimes on their laptops or tablets, sometimes on paper. So there's all kinds of different things that they're using to take notes and to take in information. And so I think note taking, when it's organized and easy to use, I think it can be really, really helpful to college students. It can be really complicated, but you can also simplify it down. There's notebooks. I'll show you guys a video in a minute that you can just reuse and erase the ink. So that's nice for students because you can just have one notebook for all of your classes, but then you can take digital notes and all of your notes can be put on your computer. You can organize them in different ways that way. You know, you're not using so much paper. There's some apps that I'll be talking about where the students can take notes in the apps, and then they can also record the lectures. I really like that for a lot of students. So especially if they're taking like a science-based class, maybe a math class, and they need to hear all the formulas and all the explanations behind what the professor is doing. Sometimes it's nice to be able to record the lecture as the student is taking notes so that they can then go back and listen and relearn sections or re-listen to parts that they're confused about. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff with technology now these days. I'm going to have Mark now show this new video. This is called a Rocket Book. It's a reusable notebook. That's pretty cool. Oh, is the sound not working?
Sorry, was the sound working?
No.
No. Okay, I think I know why. Hang on a second. When I shared, I always forget there's that little share sound.
Oh, I always forget that too.
Yep. So sorry about that. So let me try this again.
Perfect.
Okay. Does that work now?
Yeah.
This male radio check. Houston, roger up. I'll step out and take one of my first pictures here. Everything is very clearly visible. You're right, man. This is beautiful.
Okay, yeah, so I think those are pretty cool. Obviously, most students use laptops or tablets now too, so they can take notes digitally that way, and there's all kinds of different free apps for them to use, and I'll talk about a few here in a minute. Okay, so here's two that I really like. One is Microsoft OneNote, and I think most campuses are Microsoft campuses, at least Fort Lewis is, and so we use all Microsoft products, and like I said, give that software out to students to use. And what's nice is they can sync things either on their computers on the software, or they can save it in the cloud online. So for OneNote, using OneNote, I'll show a video here in a minute, but you can take notes and you can record lectures and you can listen back at specific parts of your notes. So I really like that. The other one I like is called Notability. And this one's actually a paid for one. It's an app for Apple, and it is cool because you can import your textbooks into it, or any materials you're reading online, anything like that, web pages, and you can take notes within your textbook or within whatever reading you're doing. And then it can also read out loud to you back your notes. So I'll show you each of these videos. I'll have Mark show them and show you what these are.
Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you the basics of using OneNote and how to use it as a student specifically. So the benefits of using OneNote is, firstly, you can synchronize your notes on multiple devices, so on your laptop, your phone, your tablet, etc. And OneNote automatically synchronizes to keep everything on every device up to date. Also, you can embed all types of media, so images, audio, videos, etc. And you can share it and send it to other people. So overall, it's just the perfect program for taking notes in class or during lectures in university. So this video is kind of going to outline the basic features which can be very helpful in your education. So firstly, organization. So on OneNote you have notebooks, sections and pages. So for school students you can create a notebook for each subject, sections for each topic, and then within the subject you can have pages for what you cover in each topic on a daily basis. For university students, on the other hand, you can use a section for each module study and then have your notes for a lecture on each page, with additional pages for each project or coursework. So for lectures. So OneNote for lectures is amazingly flexible and gives you unimaginable freedom for when you're typing notes. So you don't have to worry about layouts because you can literally type anywhere on the page. You can also use tags to organize the information you put on the page. So as you can see here, there are a huge range of different options that are available. So your work is always dated in time, so that's a great one for when you're looking for something you did on a particular date. And as for the design, you can even change the color of the paper, which is pretty cool. So yeah, a super handy feature is the fact that you can actually record lectures. So this is really great if you have trouble keeping up the pace in class. So later you can actually go back to the recording and catch up. To help you do this, you can even later search for words inside the audio, and this can literally save your life when trying to find a small section from like a 2-hour lecture. Also, if you record audio and take typed or handwritten notes at the same time, OneNote will automatically synchronize the two together and highlight everything you wrote, so that's really useful as well. So about the handwritten notes, if you prefer writing handwritten notes, you can also have a stylus if you have a touchscreen laptop or a tablet, and I guess this allows you to make easy diagrams and sketches of ideas, so it goes back to the traditional way of taking notes if that's more your thing. Unfortunately, OneNote on Mac doesn't have this drawing tool, but it definitely does on the PC. So
Okay, Mark, you could probably stop that one and then just play the other one. I didn't know it was so long. Thank you.
I love Notability because it has made my life so much easier.
I love Notability because it's an ever-changing platform. I love Notability because it's literally a lifesaver in medical school.
Right now I'm studying computer science and business. Having everything organized has been the biggest help for me.
Life as a student is pretty busy. I use Notability for med school every single day.
Notability really does become a sidekick when you use it the way that helps make notes that I could be proud of and make me feel more confident.
Sweet. So yeah, I like those. Obviously it'll vary depending on what your student likes to use or what technology they have. But I had a coworker who used Notability for all of his graduate studies, and he really, really liked it. And he used only his iPad and his stylus. And so I like that you can have stylus now with tablets, so you can take notes handwritten if you want on the tablet. You can also do it in a notebook, like I showed you guys, if you want to have actual handwriting, or you can take notes on the computer, type them up. And I like that you can record the lectures and organize the recordings and even search through the recordings. That's really, really nice.
Yes, sir. I can even see using this for work, right? Sitting in meetings and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool.
Yes, yes, exactly.
All right.
I love
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so next is the smart pens. So there's, smart notebooks, and then there's smart pens, quote unquote. The smart pen that I'm going to show you is made by a company called LiveScribe. And these pens are really cool because they have a little camera in the end. So they can record the notes. And then they also have built-in a recording feature. So they can record the lecture while you're taking notes. And it's a little more, it's more basic, just like handwriting, but then you can electronically store all the notes. And the pen has tons of storage for memory so that you can record all your lectures together on one pen. The battery life lasts forever, so students can just take this from class to class, and then they can organize their notes afterwards. So I'll show you guys the video of this. This is called LiveScribe.
With the Echo Smart Pen, you can save, search, or play back your notes and recordings from your PC or Mac, all in a place called LiveScribe Desktop. Start by connecting the Smart Pen to your computer. The Smart Pen automatically copies your notes to LiveScribe Desktop. Now you have an archive of your handwritten notes and audio. And all those notes are searchable. To search, type in any word. LiveScribe Desktop automatically searches and finds every instance where that word appears in your writing. LiveScribe Desktop helps you stay organized. You can create custom notebooks by combining pages from different notebooks. You can also transcribe your notes into typed text by downloading an app that's sold separately. For easy sharing, you can save your handwritten notes or drawings as a PDF file. You can export recorded audio to share with others or listen on other devices. You can also export or upload a pincast. A pincast is an interactive flash movie of your handwritten notes and audio.
We got one guy sitting over here, one guy sitting over there. This guy's saying, hey, we need this done by Tuesday.
Searching, organizing, and sharing made simple with the Echo Smart Pen and LiveScribe Desktop.
So yeah, those are pretty cool. We have about, I want to say 8 or 9 in the Disability Services Office that we check out to students, and they come with those smart notebooks, and I just buy new notebooks every semester for students. So this is a very cool thing. I have a lot of students that like this. All right, so immersive reader. So I think someone was talking about earlier having their books read out loud to them. And this is Microsoft's tool for having things read out loud. It's called Immersive Reader. We have it built into our learning management system up at Fort Lewis. So when the students go online on their classes to the portal that they use to access all their material for their online stuff, they can use Immersive Reader and have any of the materials for their classes read out loud to them. Some schools, I think, also have this within their Canvas system, but most of the time it's just in your Microsoft products. So it's in Outlook if you want to have emails read out loud to you. It's in Microsoft Word, which I think is really helpful for students when they're listening back to their writing and writing papers. Let's see. So yeah, I'll show you guys a video of this too, but I like this one because it makes the reading view way easier for students. You can change the background color. You can change the font. So students that have dyslexia can use different kind of dyslexic specific font and change it to help them read and focus. And you can just make it so that you can focus way easier while you're reading longer materials. So I'll play this video or have Mark play it.
Hi, this is Phil from Teach Blend, and today we're going to look at another team's takeaway, which is Immersive Reader. So Immersive Reader is great for students that may struggle with their reading and comprehension skills, but it might also support students that have visual difficulties and more. So let's have a quick look at how we can enable Immersive Reader in our chats to make our learning more accessible. So as you can see here, I'm in a classroom team, and what I can do as a student or as a teacher is enable Immersive Reader by clicking the three ellipses and going down to Immersive Reader. And this will open up an easier to view and see text document that I can now use and modify for my own preferences. So for example, I can increase, decrease the font size, change the font, and also change the color. I can also have it read aloud to me the instructions that Mev has written. So this is really easy and a nice simple way of accessing this document. I can also add syllables. I can choose parts of the speech to highlight, such as nouns, and also show the labels. Another thing I can also do is go to reading preferences and have a line focus, again making sure that I can focus on the text, which is really easy and simple to do. I can also include a picture dictionary, so if I click on a word now, it will give a picture to do with that word. It kind of contextualizes it. I can also translate the entire document, which is really useful as well, especially if English isn't your first language. You can then click a word and it will give you the Bulgarian or whatever language you've chosen translation. You can also do this by document. So here you'll see the original. I can also then click the Bulgarian, and again, I can also have this read out to me in that language. A real accessible way of learning. As a student, I can also view assignments in Immersive Reader as well. So here I've viewed an assignment, and then in the top right, I can click the Immersive Reader icon and have the instructions of the assignment read out to me aloud or translated. Another top tip is that if you have a document assigned to the assignment or within any team, you can also open this up using Immersive Reader. So here you'll see I'm going to open up the Word document this time in the browser, and you can do this with any document inside 365. Click View and then click Immersive Reader. Again, this can make documents accessible for yourself if you are a teacher, but also if you're a student and you want to make those documents more accessible for you to view and read. I hope you found this useful. Please remember to like and subscribe to Teach Blend. Thank you.
So yeah, that Immersive Reader is pretty cool. And I really like it for reading directions, having students read the directions to a lot of their assignments. Obviously it helps too with the longer reading assignments, but yeah, I think that that's really useful for them.
And Sarah, if I can just jump in. So I'm guessing for many of your students who are at DHS and some, and maybe even Animus and local here. When Sarah has the words LMS on the screen, that's a learning management system. Most likely in college, your students will be introduced to what's called Canvas, because Canvas is the #1 learning management system at the college level. Now in high school, they might be using Google. They just might be using like a Google Educator tool or something like that. But Canvas is a much more robust and integrative approach. And you can see here, like with the Microsoft products, et cetera. So that's just something to be aware of when they're looking at colleges. They are going to be introduced to different types of technologies than what they're going to have in high school currently.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that, Mark. I also think that that's one of the most important things for students to look at when they first go to college is what is the online system that your school uses, and having them log in and practice, using that or looking at it. Because like for Fort Lewis, we use Canvas, and then each professor builds their class a little bit differently within Canvas. So if if you're looking at your Canvas courses online, and if your student has, the college that they're going to has Canvas, they might want to just peruse through there and see what are the modules, what are the assignments, what does the calendar look like. I also think it's really helpful for students to download the apps on their phone. So if a student has a Canvas app on their phone, in addition to going to Canvas on their computer, sometimes it's easier to navigate or organize that way too. So ebooks, okay, this is a big one. I have a lot of students in the disability office that have electronic textbooks. And I encourage just most students overall to see if they can get their books in electronic format before they buy the hard copy. This is nice for students because they can listen to their textbook, they can keep it on their computer or their tablet, so they don't have to carry it around. They can search through it. A lot of the textbooks that you buy electronically already have reading features built in. There's other features for some books, like you can highlight within the book and search within the book and look up, dictionary stuff. So I really, really encourage you guys to tell your students to explore ebooks. There's a couple libraries online that have now just opened up to all students. One is called Project Gutenberg. And so I would look for that website. That has a bunch of textbooks just completely for free and open for all students. Same with OpenStax. And then one that I use is called Bookshare. And that one, you have to have a disability to be able to register with that website. But I can register students who have disabilities, and they have access to tons of textbooks online through there. So I also like that the textbooks come in different languages, and like I was talking about earlier too, that you can take electronic notes. So I'll have you show this video, Mark. This is Bookshare. They just made a reader app, and I just wanted to show a little video of that.
Read what you want, where you want with Bookshare Reader. Bookshare Reader opens the door to millions of ebooks in easy-to-read formats and lets you read in ways that work for you. Listen to books in high-quality audio. Follow along with karaoke-style highlighting. Adjust reading speed, voices, fonts, and colors. Read and access math equations using MathML.
X subscript 1 baseline plus 457 X subscript 3 baseline negative.
Download books and read offline on smartphones and tablets. Stop reading and pick up where you left off across devices. Available on web browsers, iOS and Android tablets and smartphones, and Alexa-enabled smart speakers. Whether you want to read for school or relax to the latest bestsellers, read what you want, where you want with Bookshare Reader.
So yeah, that's Bookshare. I think for me, it helped increase my reading speed. And one of the biggest things that I tell the college students or just students that are transitioning from high school to college is that you're going to have a lot more reading in college. And you're going to have to read a lot denser and more complicated materials. So I really think having things read out loud to you is helpful because you can slow it down, you can pause it, you can take notes, you can listen back. And I think all those things are really helpful for college students. Okay, so here's another one. This one is called Speechify. And I really like this app because it has the most human-like voices that I've heard for reading materials. And this one was created by a guy who has dyslexia. So I'll show you this video.
My name is Cliff Weitzman, and I love being dyslexic. Yes, it's true. Reading one sentence takes me as much time and brain power as it takes most people to do a 4-digit long division multiplication in their head. And in first, second, third, and fourth grade, I couldn't figure out how to read. I would pretend to read so people wouldn't think I'm an idiot. And reading circles were the worst. It would go kid by kid, and it would get closer to me, and so I would time it just right, and at the key moment, I'd run to the bathroom. People must have thought I had a bladder problem. Better than them thinking I'm stupid. But I did really want to learn how to read. I dreamed about it. I would go everywhere with a book under my arm. When I was in preschool, I wanted to be Prime Minister of Israel, a billionaire, and a pop star. And to be two of those things, you have to be able to read. So I decided I was going to learn how to do it. But every time I try, I read so slowly, I fell asleep. After the 20th time of a librarian waking me up, I gave up. But my dad didn't give up on me. He never gave up on me, ever. So though he had to work, he would come home early and make a special exception. And he'd sit with me in my bed and read Harry Potter to me. I loved it so much he started recording himself, and when he wasn't there, I would listen to the recording. Eventually we found the audiobooks for Harry Potter, and I listened to the entire series 22 times in a row. I still have the first chapter memorized. Then I listened to Narnia and Percy Jackson and Game of Thrones, and every audiobook I could get my hands on. 2 books a week, 100 books a year for the past 12 years. Can you imagine a little dyslexic boy reading that much? Eventually I got into Brown University, but I had a similar problem. See, there's no audiobooks for all the handouts you get in class, for textbooks and Wikipedia articles and emails. So I couldn't cope, so I did the only thing I could. I taught myself computer science and built my own text-to-speech software that let me take photos of my textbooks and listen to them while I was longboarding to class or working out, and allowed me to listen to my PDFs when I needed to do a reading. As a student, I founded the Renewable Energy Engineering major at Brown. I built 40 products, everything from a 3D printed longboard brake I designed and patented to a biotech supplements and a series of apps and websites and a payments company. But this one project, Speechify, was the thing I was most passionate about. Today, I'm on Forbes 30 Under 30. I'm the CEO of a company that employs 11 people and helps hundreds of thousands of people that have listened to tens of millions of books using our software. I can do all this because I am dyslexic. I had training when I was young to be more persevering than anybody ever could imagine. It's the reason why I am empathetic, and it's the reason why I value education more than anything else, and why I will never let anything stop me from reading. So Lime, thank you for all you've done. Thank you for putting me in the limelight and showing what dyslexics and people with learning differences can do.
Okay, so Speechify is really cool too because you can just take pictures of textbooks or of written material and it will read out loud to you. And then, like I said, they have the most human-like voices. So this year, I think they just added Snoop Dogg and Dwight. I think they have Dwight Schrute and then Gwyneth Paltrow, and they have tons of other voices. So I think that this is a really cool app and students really like this one. All right, so for studying and focus, there's a lot of tech that can help with that. But I think some of the most helpful ones that I've heard about have been Quizlet. Quizlet is an app where you can make online flashcards. And so it's an interactive study app that helps students to either, like I said, create their flashcards, review, they can play games, they can take practice quizzes. If there's flashcards that are already made on a certain subject, they can find them. So that's really nice, and share them. And it tracks, you know, your progress when you're studying. So I really like that. There's also Khan Academy, which I think is super, super helpful for students. And that's free and online. And it usually, so basically they just show videos, tutoring videos on different subjects. So they have a lot of college subjects that are completely free to all students. I also think that noise canceling headphones are really helpful to college students, whether you're studying in your dorm or in the library or anywhere on campus. The noise canceling headphones have come a long way, and there's some that are really affordable that are really nice for students. There's also some focus apps that I think that are really helpful, and I can send you guys a list of those. But those apps will actually block different things like websites, or they can block things on your phone so that you are focused on working on your homework when you're working on that, and there's no other distractions or things that'll pop up. Cool. So yeah, I'll kind of let you guys explore this on your own, but a lot of the accessibility features that are already built into a lot of the devices that we use are helpful for students. So I think we were talking earlier about, you know, voice to text. There's a lot of dictation, that's called dictation. There's a lot of dictation apps and tools that students can use so that they can, you know, maybe speak as they're walking around their dorm and type up their papers, or take voice notes along with their notes that they're writing. Yeah, Google has a lot of really cool ones. Like I said, Microsoft has a bunch, and then Apple. And so these are just lists that you guys can click on at your own leisure and peruse.
So was there a video you want me to play here, or?
No, you can
No.
just go to the next one on
Okay.
that one, Mark.
Will
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And so that's pretty much it. I was gonna just see if you guys had any questions, and then I can go into more details about any if you were curious.
It's good. Yeah, thanks for that. There's a lot in there. Yeah, any questions from y'all about any of these different platforms or technologies? I'm wondering, Sarah, can you give, you know, I know we have some students, you know, families here that represent, you know, from earlier in their high school to getting ready to graduate. I'm wondering, often, you know, one of the steps in college is you go and do a campus visit. And I'm wondering, what specifically might a student want to ask about when it comes to, you know, like these kinds of technologies, to really understand what is provided or what may be provided?
Yeah, I would ask, you know, what the school has to offer, what they offer for free, and then what the training and support looks like around those technologies. So, you know, I mean, it really depends, but that's where I would start. And I would I would ask, definitely, like, we have a lot of online tutoring support and online support for a lot of offices electronically. So I would ask about that too when you're visiting the campus.
Thanks. Anything else from anybody?
I'll just add,
Oh, Colin, yeah.
yeah, hey, Sarah, on the noise canceling headphones note, super helpful. And something that I've also found really supportive for just focus and paying attention is binaural beats. especially with these noise canceling headphones. And it's a nice way to kind of cancel out noise if I'm like, around people trying to study. But also just the, like, especially 40 hertz binaural beats help with focus and memory. So that can be really helpful, has been really helpful for me. And something I'll also just kind of drop in here is that, as you as parents are all kind of gathering this information for your students, the importance of not only getting them the information, but how it's getting brought to them is huge, because this like big step in them becoming these independent, individuals outside of the family. And in that process, bringing this, knowledge to them in a way that's, needed because they need this information, but then doing it in a way that can also empower them to, be curious for themselves and really, like, oh, there is technology out there and there are these things they don't know about. How can I learn more about this? And that's just, I think it's really important. I, have had the experience of people forcing me to learn something, and then there's a natural resistance to it. And then there's also like the kind of like, hey, there's this option you can check out if you're interested, and draw some curiosity out of them in that way too.
Yeah. Thanks, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really want to encourage your students to explore how they learn best and, what kind of format they want to take the material in. And then they can kind of customize their education as they, as they see fit, and make it so that they can take in the material in different ways and learn it at their own pace and at whatever speed that they need to.
Lorianne, I think I saw maybe earlier you had taken yourself off mute. Was there anything you wanted to ask, or?
I didn't have a question. I just
Okay.
wanted to say thank you. I thought
Oh.
this information was really pertinent and helpful, and probably across the board useful for all kinds of students. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And I think that's your comment right there, Lorianne. And I think that's what I know Sarah and I have talked about this, how all of us use assistive technologies, right? Probably every day. Like, you go to the grocery store and your hands are full and you walk up and the door is open, right? That's an assistive technology. And so sometimes we fall, or closed captioning. My wife and I watch movies with closed captioning all the time, because it just makes it such a better experience for us. So assistive technology is really something that aids all of us every single day. So Sarah, thanks again for all of your expertise and information around this.
Yeah, no problem. And if you guys have any more questions or want any more information about anything, you can reach out to me at any time.
Okay, great. Well, I think that closes it for us, unless there are any final comments or questions. Yeah, thank you, Lorianne. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully be safe with whatever snow is coming in tomorrow. Again, I just want to once again say thank you to Sarah for doing this. We really couldn't do it without you and your expertise. So really appreciate it. All right. Thanks everybody. Have a good night. And Amy, if you want to stay on, have a good night, everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and pause or stop our recording.